Coach, you had a week away from game action. What were some of the points of emphasis with the open week to get the guys ready for these final two games?
Well, I think the big thing that we tried to do was to, number one, give them some rest. We still had work to do, but the big thing was to try to rest and recover, not only physically but mentally. We did an introduction game plan for Samford, tried to show their dominant plays that they run offensively and then the looks that they run from a defensive standpoint. We went through one day a complete script as far as attacking certain looks that they have. Defensively, we went back to just working the fundamentals, making sure that everybody's gap sound, assignment sound, working on open field tackling, just trying to, get guys in their legs, get guys closing in space and being able to tackle. Worked on the kicking game. Had 3 days that we worked, and then they were off 2 days. We went out on the road recruiting. Our guys had some downtime, and I'm sure it was welcome. A lot of guys went home to see their folks. Some of them hadn't been home since August. We got back in on Sunday. We had a meeting, and then we went out and we had practice on Sunday. Today's their day off in the week schedule, and as a staff, we're working on game plan, trying to sharpen everything up and make sure that we select the plays that we feel like that we can execute at a high level.
You've been through open weeks throughout your career. What did it mean to go into an open week with a win over VMI and a win where you won by 21 points and forced some turnovers?
Well, there's no doubt coming out of a positive game versus a negative, it definitely helps the mindset. These guys have worked extremely hard. They hadn't had a break since August the 5th, and they have a day off, but it's not a day off. They're going to class. They've got to go to the training room. They've got to get up for breakfast check and all that. But it's an opportunity, I think, for all of our guys to recharge. I think that as a staff, you need some of that recharging as well. And at practice last night, the kids were upbeat. We had a good practice. Had a little bit of drizzle right at the end, but nothing too bad. And we're looking forward to getting the season started again. I told our guys when we met with them, I said, I'm sitting at home watching TV and watching football on Saturday, and a big part of me said, gosh, man, I wish we were playing right now. And it's when you're into it, when that's what you love the game, you want to be doing as much as you can. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get enough weather to be able to practice outside. Mother Nature right now is not cooperating, but hopefully we can get a couple of days where it's going to be dry and we can get out.
In the VMI game, Evan Jacks pretty much went the whole way at quarterback. Brad Butler, who played well the week before, was out with a rib injury. Any idea as to whether Brad may be available this week and how you may run the quarterbacks out there?
Well, Evan had a great game. VMI was a game that was a tough game, and we played some really good defense. They turned the ball over a couple times to us, and all of a sudden it was a game that by the score looked easy, but it wasn't. Brad would not have been able to play. He has a rib, and he has an ankle issue as well. I think he is close to being 100%. It's a day-by-day deal that every time that I get the injury report, I'll look and see, is it go as tolerated, is it probable, or is it out? And he's been out.
Okay, this week you get Samford. Chris Hatcher, who used to be at Georgia Southern, is now the head coach, takes over for Coach Sullivan. What is he doing? Does Samford have a different look, perhaps, than they did last year?
Well, tell you the truth, it's similar. Coach Hatcher is one of those guys. His philosophy is to throw the football, and they're running some of the gun read stuff, but a big part of their offense is throwing the ball down the field. They have outstanding athletes in the skill position, wide receivers, tight end, running back, and then the quarterback as well. You have a defense that has always traditionally been one of the best defenses in the conference, and they've always been very difficult for us to execute against. Last year, we played down there, and just like the year before and the year before, it was a knockdown, drag out right to the end, and we were fortunate enough to win the game. If you're going to win the game, you got to be able to execute. You got to make plays, and they're a tough team to get something cheap. You've got to be able to bang away, and be able to hopefully get it to where you're effective with the fullback or the halfback or the quarterback in the option, and then get them where their eyes aren't quite focused, and hopefully try to get one over their head.